Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Another sign that Fury Wilder 3 is on the way has been given by Deontay Wilder's fiancé, Telli Swift. So she has posted to social media, and see here on screen, so I'm going straight to the end of the post where the meat is. I'll get to a couple of her comments that are above it a bit later, and some thoughts, as well as some of the other news floating around and other fights that the likes of Eddie Hearn at Matchroom want Fury to be in, and Dillian Whyte too calling Fury's name. But Telli Swift, see here on screen, continue to give God the glory so we can get back our belt. Wilder Fury 3, hashtag Wilder Fury 3, here we come. Hashtag the saga continues, hashtag still our champ, hashtag bomb squad. So Telli Swift giving us a pretty good indication that Deontay Wilder, who's been given 30 days to trigger the rematch clause, is going to do so, and we are going to get a third fight. And for some people, they don't want to see that, given the result of the first fight, where some people thought Fury won, a lot of people thought Fury won, I should correct, and then obviously the beatdown in the second fight. But they did agree to this two-way rematch clause, so it was always likely we were going to get this third fight. Reportedly somewhere upwards of $25 million apiece for the second fight. There's just too much money involved, as Tyson Fury said. He said that Wilder, when he beat him, would take the rematch, and that's obviously been somewhat prophetic, because it does end up looking like somewhat prophetic, because it looks like Wilder will indeed do so. So further up though, she says, Deontay, you showed us what strength, passion and courage looks like. You showed the world what it takes to be a champion. Most people have no idea just how hard you train, the blood, sweat and tears you put into the sport for other people's entertainment. To me and to so many that know and love you, you're still and forever will be the champ. You're the people's champ, and we all know what you do for our culture. One moment in time does not define your legacy. Your legacy is created throughout time, and we will continue to do just that. A bump in the road doesn't stop you from reaching your desired destination. Deontay, you are and will always be a king with a tenacious heart of a warrior who has elevated the heavyweight division back to its glory days in the US. You've never backed down and never will from the opportunity, and I'm confident you will fulfill all of your dreams. And the journey continues with the same end goal: one face, one name, one champ. So that is Deontay Wilder's partner, Telli Swift, paying tribute to Deontay Wilder, who has been heavyweight champion, or was heavyweight champion with the WBC belt for 5 years. And I have seen a lot of people have been quick to pile in on Wilder, say that he's trash and was never any good. But if that's the case, should Tyson Fury get the credit that people are giving him? You can't have it both ways and say it was the best win in history, but then say Deontay Wilder is nothing. I think people should recognize Deontay Wilder is actually a decent heavyweight, not, a bum as some people are calling him. I saw a tweet that I did actually retweet that I thought really sort of hit the nail on the head for a guy that took up boxing late to get a bronze medal, become a champion, have 10 defenses. He's actually done pretty well in his boxing career, and people can't take that away from him. But Wilder himself, since the loss a couple of days ago, has gone ghost. There's no update from him on social media. He had a lot to say in the build-up, and obviously it's all come crashing down for him. But I expect he will come out at some point. But let's hope there's just not excuses galore, as there was after the first fight. He was soundly beaten by Tyson Fury in this fight, this rematch on February the 22nd. And Fury, though, has again paid tribute to Deontay Wilder in a new post on social media. See here on screen. Love and respect to the dance partner of the century, at Bronze Bomber, hashtag speedy recovery. So this third fight, it looks like it is going to happen, and I did hear on Fight Night that they said it had to happen by the end of August, so effectively 6 months after this rematch fight. So it looks like we are going to see it, and I know that there isn't going to be tremendous amounts of interest from some people, but given the manner of this second fight and Tyson Fury looking electric, I think that people closer to the fight will actually get quite buzzed for it, because this will end up being something where people will see it as Deontay Wilder, maybe a puncher's chance here, but Tyson Fury might be able to beat Deontay Wilder soundly again. Some people will want to see through morbid curiosity, can Deontay Wilder be retired by Tyson Fury? Is this a case where Fury's just going to have his number and he's going to really beat him down again? Or could we see something again from Deontay Wilder that we don't expect, as in the 12th round knockdown in the first fight? For me, I still think there's plenty of interesting storylines, but I know that there has been chatter online and in comment sections from fans who are eager to see Tyson Fury move on to other things, that being either Dillian Whyte, his WBC mandatory, or Anthony Joshua for an undisputed fight, which there's obviously a couple of hurdles to clear to get to that undisputed fight. One, the Deontay Wilder rematch clause he can trigger, and two, Kubrat Pulev, the IBF mandatory. And in respect of Kubrat Pulev, unlikely he's going to step aside to ensure undisputed can happen. So he has posted to his social media platform Pulev Sport, so he's got a personal account at also Pulev Sport, where broadly people within his stable and sphere, different posts, etc. Anyway, getting bogged down in that. So translating his post, he said, "I expect Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn to be men and finally sign the match contract. As long as you've unwound, we agree with almost all your conditions and selfish desires. No problem. We will be where you are best. Let's go." So the translation, it's not perfect, but yeah, Kubrat Pulev is expecting to fight Anthony Joshua. That doesn't sound like talk of a guy that's looking to step aside. And I never thought that there would be any step aside from Kubrat Pulev, who's been targeting this fight for 3 years. Remembering he could have fought Joshua in 2017, but pulled out a couple of weeks, 12 days beforehand, through some sort of injury, pectoral injury, I think it was. So yeah, Kubrat Pulev not indicating that he's going to give any leeway to allow an undisputed fight should it occur, which, he's one part of the equation to allow it to happen. Wilder not triggering the contract is the other. But it certainly has been an issue, the undisputed fight, that Eddie Hearn has been talking up. There's a 10-minute interview up on the Matchroom YouTube channel. But here's a clip from the Matchroom Instagram page, and he talks about Tyson Fury and wanting the undisputed fight and let's get it done and all that sort of stuff. But it's not just as easy to say that it can happen, and he does outline that as well. But a guy that has been sort of calling out for Tyson Fury to fight him is also Dillian Whyte. So he's been sort of everywhere since the win by Fury over Deontay Wilder. He says, "Tyson Fury knows I've got what it takes to beat him." And then further down in the Sky Sports story, he says, "Listen, he should be fighting me next, regardless of whatever he thinks, whatever AJ thinks. I deserve it. I've worked hard for my title shot, and I keep fighting, and I keep risking my position. I've been #1 contender for ages now. They should fight no one else apart from me. I've done everything that is required of me. So now it's my turn. I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't already started talking about the Anthony Joshua fight. Fury won't face me unless he gets put in a position where he has to face me. Listen, we've already tried to make the fight with Fury for the Diamond Belt at the time Deontay Wilder was champion. The WBC Diamond Belt is a higher ranked belt than the WBC regular world title. Fury asked for that. The WBC gave me and him the belt. Then he turned the fight down." Yeah, and that was a case that Fury sort of called for that. So he put the diamond belt on the line, and then a couple of days later changed his mind when the WBC actually obliged and said, yep, we could do that. And then Dillian Whyte goes on to add, "Everybody is going to be, he just beat Wilder. That don't mean shit. This is boxing and styles make fights. Tyson Fury knows I've got what it takes to beat him." And before I get to a couple of comments on that, Dillian Whyte's brother, or what is being called his brother, Dean Whyte, aka Lamar Scott, he was in Las Vegas, and here's a tweet from Michael Benson, which is from a shot from Pep Talk UK, a video where Fury replied to Dean Whyte, who said, we've got to come chasing you. My boy deserves a shot. Fury replied, "If Wilder don't take this rematch, I'll fight my mandatory. Me and Dill go a long way back." So that's pretty close after the fight, obviously before some of this undisputed talk bubbled up. So I do think out of the two, if something happens, an undisputed fight will take priority just because it's the much bigger and better fight. Not saying the Whyte fight isn't a good one, because it is, but I think Dillian Whyte, some of what he's doing and saying at the moment, in part is because he's got a fight coming up. let's not mince words here. He's going to be facing Alexander Povetkin, soon to be announced. They want to sell as many pay-per-views as possible for that. So Dillian Whyte has a vested interest to be making as much noise as possible right now, because they want to throw out the narrative and the carrot for fans that Fury is next or very close. After this Povetkin fight, Dillian Whyte may not have to actually fight anyone else. It could be straight to the champion and him getting his title shot. So that's one of the sort of sales tactics that is going to be used heavily, I believe, in this pay-per-view for Alexander Povetkin and Dillian Whyte, which is still to be announced, that Whyte is going to get a title shot and Fury could be the man he's going to be facing. Who knows? I mean, we'll have to see what happens with this Wilder 3 announcement, which is still to come. Deontay Wilder still gone ghost on social media, but Telli Swift giving us the biggest indication yet that it's happening. We heard from JD's and Shelley Finkel on the night that it was likely to happen. They couldn't outright say that, but Telli Swift saying Wilder Fury 3, here we come. So I'm expecting it will happen, and I know that there will be some backlash from some fans who don't want to see it again. I've seen polls where, say 15-20% want to see the rematch, as opposed to different fights that have been thrown out as options. I don't mind seeing the third fight because there is some interesting storylines and potentially a redemption storyline for Deontay Wilder, but I won't be picking Deontay Wilder in the third fight. I think he will be a decent underdog the third time around. It's hard to back against Fury now, isn't it? With that performance on February the 22nd, he will end up going in there a favourite. And some people will say he may be able to end Deontay Wilder's career, and some will think that Deontay Wilder, if he takes the third fight, one, is being silly given the beatdown that he had and the time that he may need to recover. But two, some people will also look at it as a cash out. But the third option is Deontay Wilder is a prideful guy. He will want to try avenge the loss, get the belt back. And that's seemingly the way that Telli Swift is pitching it. And obviously, if you're a Deontay Wilder fan, you're probably looking at it like that there is unfinished business, where a lot of other fans, though, are looking at it like the business is finished. It's time for Fury to move on. But what do you make of it? Drop a comment. Loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Boxing_squared. I'm out.